Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Running with Eric. Coach Eric Orton here, and I'm out in the backyard doing some flat, easy runs, kind of chilling by the creek. It's a beautiful day, and a good day for a run. Hope you're getting out there today. What I want to talk about today is mixing things up and some breathing techniques. So kind of the last 3 years, my primary focus for me personally is to really elevate my mountain running. And during that time, I've focused on most of my runs are hilly, mountainous, and with the idea of improving my mountain running, like I mentioned. And during that time, those 3 years, I kind of averaged about 500,000 feet of vertical climbing on average each year. So quite a bit. I very rarely did very much slow, flat, easy running, other than track work. Obviously that's not slow, but so what my point is that I started to see this year that my aerobic base, my aerobic capacity was starting to take a hit. And with that, my mountain running, some of my kind of measurable climbs that I used to do was starting to really kind of plateau at a harder effort. So I knew I needed to start mixing things up. I accomplished my goal of really elevating my performance in the mountains, but I need to kind of bring back a little balance. And so my goal this year is to do a little bit more flat running and continue to focus on the mountains, but introduce more flat, long, steady, paced, flat running to elevate my aerobic capacity again, my aerobic base, and get my easy flat speed back up to where it used to be. It kind of slowed down a little bit, and so I needed to mix things up again. And that's kind of the point of this talk. And kind of using one of my athletes as an example as well, is I have an athlete in Australia who just finished a marathon last week, and he ran a 2:58, which was about 90 seconds off his PR of 2:56-ish. And he's training for all the majors, culminating with a Western States shot in a few years. So he emailed me right after the race and said, hey, I felt pretty good, had a pretty good race. What would you think about looking to add another race before Chicago this October? So he's already got planning Chicago as his second marathon of the year, and he wanted to add in another race to maybe see if he could just improve a little bit on that 2:58. And I emailed him back and I said, hey, we can keep chasing races and chasing numbers a little bit, and maybe on a good day you take a couple seconds off, or we can just focus on Chicago and use this time to really elevate your ability. Up to this point, based on his marathon goals, we really need to improve his raw speed, and we accomplished that. And so now I think he needs more volume. So like I said, I told him, hey, we can keep chasing that and hope for a good day and take a few seconds off, but hey, what if we look to take minutes off? There's always a way to improve, no matter your ability, your age. So we're really looking to take minutes off and take that next big leap in his performance, and I think he needs more volume. So the point is that we need to keep mixing things up. We need to keep layering on challenges for the body, and the body always responds. So we can't just get stuck into doing the same old thing all the time and expect big gains. And we all can kind of get big gains in one way or another. So, so with that, I thought, I had a question on one of my YouTube videos to talk about breathing techniques. And so I thought, there's four breathing techniques that I use to change things up, to add to performance in a variety of situations. And I know you trolls out there are going to say, why do you need to teach someone to breathe? So it's not teaching you how to breathe, it's giving you some techniques to use in a variety of situations to elevate your performance. So number one technique I use is nose breathing. And like, I'm out today in the backyard, running the trails in the backyard, and it's nice and easy, nice and slow. I'm nose breathing and working on my efficiency. And I use that in my book to speak to some of the beginning runners out there, to help them to keep things easy when they're first starting, or if you've taken time off to get back into it, and just see how efficient you are. Nose breathing is great feedback. If it's very hard for you, you're not very efficient. So you need to continue to work on your aerobic base. And as you can see, I've had a few injuries to the nose, so I can't always breathe well out of my nose. So on good nose breathing days, I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my nose. Other days, on bad nose days, I'm breathing kind of in through my nose, and then I'll breathe out through my mouth. So those are kind of two techniques of nose breathing that I use. Again, just try it out. It keeps you efficient. I use it with some of my athletes to keep them honest with their recovery days, of keeping it nice and easy. And it brings an element of kind of getting into the zone and having that awareness and being in the flow. So number one. Number two is a technique that I use also on long, easy runs where maybe my cadence doesn't feel right, or I'm just not focused, and just I'm real kind of scattered with my form. And it's 2 breaths in, 2 breaths out through my mouth. So it's, so again, 2 in, 2 out. And a lot of times people will say they match the 2 in with each footstep and breathe out 2 with each footstep. So you're matching your breaths with each footstep. And again, the reason I use this is to just kind of get me into a more focused state, to really focus on my cadence and just kind of bring all my thinking and slow things down and kind of get into a rhythm on my long, flat, easy stuff. It's hard to do when things are changing up. And so try that. Number 2, 2 in, 2 out. Third technique I use is 2 in, 1 out. And this is, so it looks like this. Again, I'm exaggerating a little bit based on, showing you on the video. But I use this technique when I'm exerting myself, mainly at a threshold level where your exertion's high enough where that breathing really starts to change from kind of a rhythmic to a more labored breathing right at threshold or above. I use it a lot when I'm climbing at threshold. And again, it just helps me get into a rhythm, but also getting more oxygen in quickly, especially here at altitude. And so it kind of, again, it forces the oxygen in and forcing it out much quicker. But also, again, it continues to create some type of rhythm and focus that all this breathing does in its own way. So again, number 3, 2 in, 1 out. Again, at a much harder exertion level. At the track, climbing, your tempo runs. Last one, 4th, is just your normal breathing, which, again, I'm using most of the time. And it's a focused breathing, just 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out. I think you should always have awareness in your breathing. And, awareness is athleticism. Any good athlete has awareness of their body. So just continuing to focus on your breathing through your belly, it's really going to help as well. So hope that helps. Try it out, play around with it. Maybe find a new technique for you at different situations. So it's all about what you feel has helped. So try that out. Want to end with a couple, I know you guys like gear talk, so want to show you a pack that I've been trying out. This is the Montane Fang 5 liter, and I got it for my trip in India, and I'm loving it so far, mainly because of this thick strap that goes around just above, kind of right around the belly button, and it's a Velcro. It fits nice and secure. It's got the elastic so it kind of breathes with you, and it's probably one of the most snug fitting vests I've used. Another unique aspect, it's got a zippered pocket. I've got my camera in here, but you can put, you can actually almost fit 2 soft flasks, hydration flasks in there. And then you got your traditional front flask pocket there, zippered pocket and open pocket, pretty standard. Got your pockets over here, and then again, your 5 liter zip here where I always got my jacket in here, and then you got another zip here for another hydration bladder if you choose, or added clothing. So again, I'm not going to get into kind of a full-on review. I just want to kind of start talking about what I use, why I use it. What I really like about this pack, it's super lightweight, and the capacity, even though it's 5 liter, it's how it's designed and very efficient with its capacity. I can use it almost all day in the mountains. So I don't need a bigger capacity pack. But again, I think where this really shines is the elastic waist, where it just fits snug. You're not always having to cinch it every so often because it keeps loose. So yeah, try it out, the Montane Fang 5, and I'll continue to talk more about gear and stuff I'm using. So all right, folks, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Have a great run. See ya.